Alright guys, so I'll tell you the measurements for making a homemade plain yogurt. Of course you need a milk to start off with, so it's up to you what percentage milk you would like to prefer for this recipe. Of course the higher percentage of the fat, the better flavor it is. So you need milk, and of course you need to boil your milk in order to make homemade yogurt. And to use temporary yogurt first to make a perfectly flavored good home yogurt. So here are different flavors. This is the Astro plain yogurt 2%. Again, it's up to you what percentage yogurt you want to use, or you can use a nice Indian yogurt. I prefer using one of the Indian yogurts to make my own homemade. So there's Dahi, and then there's a Himalaya dairy as well for the yogurt. So these are some brands that I thought I'd show you guys to start off making a plain yogurt, and they're all plain flavor. So the measurement for the homemade yogurt, for each 1 cup milk, you need about 2 tablespoons of plain yogurt to start off. So I have here, for this recipe, I'll be using about 8 cups of this milk, which I'll be boiling. And for each 1 cup, I'm using 2 tablespoons of plain yogurt, which I'll be mixing and adding it to my warm milk. Guys, once you measure the milk for the yogurt you're going to be making, or you know how much you need, you're going to have to boil this. If you don't boil it properly, it's not going to become a good yogurt. So make sure you have your heat closer to medium to high, and once it's boiled, you're going to turn off your stove and remove this and put it in a container where you're about to make a yogurt. I prefer using glass container, but you can also use what you call the plastic container as well. So up to you. So I'm just going to transfer this now to this container. It's nicely boiled here, and make sure that you stir constantly, because you don't want this to get burned from the bottom. Before we add this to our warm milk, make sure you mix this very well so there's no lumps. Same thing with the plain yogurt. You're going to feel it with your finger, and if it's not burning your finger, then that's the right temperature to add the yogurt so we can make a homemade one. Make sure you mix this back and forth for about 1.5 minutes so everything gets dissolved properly and there's no lumps. Please make a note of it that once you cover the top, please place this aside away from the kids and do not move it too much or anything, because if this moves too much, then the yogurt won't gather itself and it won't come up a good yogurt. So just leave it aside away from the kids. Alright guys, so it's been overnight, and I have also kept this in the fridge for at least a few hours, because that's what you're supposed to do. Once it's past 8 hours or overnight, you left it in your kitchen counter, then immediately place it in your fridge. So here's our yogurt. The yogurt is ready. I'll serve this in a small container to show you how it looks. Alright guys, so here's a homemade easy recipe on how to make a plain yogurt. This was requested by many of viewers, so I hope you guys find this recipe easy. Do leave me your feedbacks, give me a thumbs up if you enjoy this recipe, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much.